Hello and welcome to the December update from the ID&I team. You're here with me, Fola. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Kareem for his overview this month.
Hello, everybody. Despite the delay in the Agoras live release, I still think we ended up the year on a very strong note, both on the TML side and the Agoras live side. I'll speak about Agoras live next, but let me talk about the developments on the TML side first. Marissa continued his excellent work on the eval operator, and he re-implemented it and improved the functionality of the operator by allowing for larger program size, as well as the much improved performance. The eval operator, by the way, continues to be a very hot topic of discussion between OHAD and our weekly meetings with the academic panel. So more on that later, perhaps from OHAD. On the syntax side and the language side, Umar continued his work on the parsing and the conversion to a universe of size 2, which is an important optimization for increasing the speed of TML programs. He also successfully added or implemented complex type specifications, which are compound data types that are similar to C and C++ data types. He also fixed some bugs in the TML parsing. Juan transitioned from working on TML the last couple of months to working exclusively on a new high priority project in the month of December. And namely, that is the transition between from the Omni layer to the ERC20 Ethereum platform. So we have a candidate for the smart contract that will be necessary for the ERC20 token. We reviewed that extensively, and OHAD and Juan are currently testing it in the Ethereum testnet. On the TML editor side, Tomasz continued his great work on that. He actually re-implemented the front end using the stencil JS tool, which allowed him to implement syntax highlighting for TML, and he fixed some bugs in the TML syntax highlighting with respect to Unicode. But most importantly, something I'm very happy about is he fixed a very long-standing bug in TML that has to do with duplicate rules, and it wasn't easy to fix, but he finally found the source of that. Okay, so on the Agoras live side, why the delay in the release? There's two main reasons for that. First, we had to move from the Jitsi open source video platform, which turned out to be not reliable enough, really, to a more reliable platform, which is called the Big Blue Button. And for that, Andre had to re-implement the integration between that and the payment system. It was a lot of work, but he finally did it, and we continue to test with Big Blue Button. The other difficult task that we encountered with Agoras Live has to do with the payment layer. As you all know, we were working against the Omni layer at first, but then when we finally made this decision to move to ERC20, we're having to re-implement all that. So those are two major technical reasons, but there's also another reason for the delay, which has to do with the rebranding. It turns out that we've known about this for a while, that there's another platform called Agora, and it's a video platform. So that's too much of a coincidence or a close call there. So we're having to rebrand Agoras Live. We'll have to call it something else. We're still working on the name. We don't know what the new name is yet, but we'll let you know as soon as possible. So as a result of those facts of life, basically we've had to delay the beta release of Agoras. Right now we're looking at February for a beta release. And depending on how all of that goes, perhaps a full release in the May timeframe.
All right, thank you very much, Kareem. Let's pass it over to Umar for his update this month.
Hi, team. Glad to contribute to the progress of the TML. So one of the challenges that we had was on how to specify the bit sizes of the integers and the characters that we have in the TML. Previously, it was all fixed and static. However, depending upon the domain and the model, that should vary. So one of the way was to use the types to specify what type of object a certain variable is referring to. So we introduced integer, character, and symbol types. So now you can define them for the predicates. Then one of the other important thing was if you want to define complex types like structures. So now you can group these primitive types into a complex type like structure, similar to like C++ or C. And then you can also map the variables against these complex types. And you can pass them in the predicates and so on. So this should be specifiable, and TML parser should be able to parse these types. So we have built the first version of that. So using that, we did a second step also. We used that to also convert the raw program into a size 2 universe program. We call it bit program because there we have exactly bits specified for every variable, constant, and symbol. So currently the conversion from raw program to the bit program is completed. So one of the other things is that the next step will be to how we take that bit program and convert it in and map it into the underlying BDDs and the rules. That's a bit more challenging because the architecture is a bit complex, and we have to cut through lots of things to make that happen. So I did some tests. Both of these changes have been checked in. There were some issues that were identified later on, so I also fixed them up. I'm looking for a feedback from the peers as to how to further improve and make it better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Umar. Let's pass it over to Marissa for his update this month.
Hi, everyone. It's Marissa. This month, or last month, I was mostly working on eval. And some of the things which I've done include I've done a complete redesign of eval in order to circumvent certain requirements on the sizes of interpreters. Specifically, before you could only nest small interpreters inside large interpreters, but now that's no longer a restriction. The trick that I used in order to achieve this was to use linked lists in order to represent data in the interpreter. Another thing which I've done is I have actually implemented this eval operator, and I have started optimizing it in order to get practicable speeds. Right now, eval is currently only working on smaller programs. And the reason why is because one of its bottlenecks is that it's generating large number of facts in order to interpret quoted programs. So one of the things that I've done, that I started doing, is I have started doing a form of lazy evaluation or on-demand evaluation in order to choose specifically which facts I want to derive and not derive every fact, because sometimes not every fact is used later on by the program. more things that I've done include I have been researching extensions to Eval. And one extension that I looked at in particular was self-modifying programs. And these would work by allowing a quoted program to modify the quotation that contains it. And if a quoted program is able to do this, if a quoted program is able to change the quotation that contains it, then this would cause a val to start interpreting a different program. And so this is how self-modification will be achieved. And this may be useful for as a mechanism for changing laws. And the last thing that I've been doing throughout has been identifying bugs and fixing them. One of which Kareem mentioned earlier, to do with the permutation, to do with the reordering of rules in the source program. So I've worked together with Thomas in order to fix that. So yes, that's been my current work this month. Thank you.
All right, fantastic stuff, Marissa. Let's pass it over to Tomasz for his update this month.
Hello, everyone. So in December, as Kareem said, we have found a bug in TML. After several days of debugging, I've realized that the bug appeared only when there were duplicit rules in the program. So from this realization, it became much easier to fix the bug. I've done some work on transformation of nested programs into a single non-nested program. It already works for programs without conditional statements like if and while. And regarding online TML editor, I revised most of the front-end parts and I fixed most of the issues. I fixed syntax highlighting of source files containing Unicode. I fixed UI update problems. Like for example, when there was a dump tab, it was not being updated when it was activated after the program was run. And also I updated syntax highlighting for new TML features. And last thing before I updated deploy to, so for everyone to see, I need to revise the tabular view, which is broken by changes in the UI, but it should be fixed soon. So that's all from me this month.
Excellent stuff there, Tomasz. Okay, let's pass it over to Killian for his update this month.
So this month I've been working on several things. First, I've been working on the Tau community handbook, which will serve as a comprehensive guide or overview about everything that could be of interest for existing and potential community members. And the goal is that when someone looks into the Tau community handbook, you will get an understanding about Tau, understanding how to contribute to Tau, and also an understanding of how to get rewarded for the contributions. And in correlation with the Tau community handbook, I've also worked on the Tau supporter program, which I'm currently about to finalize, and I hope to be able to launch it in January. So this month, hopefully even next week. And the goal with the supporter program is that you as a community member have the option to complete challenges. And based on the traction that you generate by completing those challenges, you will be rewarded in Agoras. So that's a great way, I think, to reward the existing community, but also to drive attention across new across or not like beyond, to drive attention beyond our community to Tau. Then I've also been working on the pitch presentation of IDNI or Tau chain in Agoras, which, well, we have undergone several we have created several narratives for the pitch presentation. For example, we had the narrative of the knowledge economy, now we get closer to actually finalizing the presentation, and hopefully soon we will also have the presentation ready and we will be able to turn it into an animated video. That will also help us, I think, to get the word out about our project and our vision. And also this month, we were able to announce the first 2 advisors of ours that we managed to onboard due to our outreach to scientific researchers. The first one is Professor Franconi, who's joining our team as an advisor in the area of knowledge representation and reasoning. And his research area is related to the application of database, artificial intelligence, and semantic technologies to concrete problems in information systems design and maintenance, in data integration, intelligent access, analysis, and restructuring of big data. He's also the founder and director of the KRDB Research Center for Knowledge and Data, and his previous work also involves having developed an ontology for the European Space Agency. So it's very glad to have him on board. And the second advisor is Professor Benzmüller, whose research activities interface the areas of artificial intelligence, philosophy, mathematics, computer science, and natural language. And he will be joining our team firstly to solve second-order logic. And Professor Benzmüller's extensive CV also includes having developed the Leo theorem provers for higher-order logic, which by an independent study already has been identified as the world's leading and most general higher-order automated theorem prover. We also have onboarded a third advisor, but we cannot yet say the name, and his research focuses on combining the methods from formal argumentation theory, natural language semantics, epistemic, and philosophical logic to formally model the mathematical, philosophical, and logical reasoning of humans. Then I've also been on a call with Fuller to, we've been having a conversation with potential partners for integrating a fiat to crypto gateway into Agoras Live, and we still haven't found the ideal partner, so we're still looking for a good option. And if you have any idea about a good fiat to crypto gateway, a company that has a solution in that regard, where we would be definitely grateful for your information. Then I've also put up the Whitebit AMA on tauchainfans.com. As you recall, I think in early November we had an AMA with Whitebit about where Andrew from Whitebit presented himself and the exchange to show us that the exchange definitely is trustworthy. Yeah, the AMA now can be found also on tauchainfans.com instead of just in our Telegram channel, where you would have to scroll up all the way. So if you're interested in using Whitebit and you want to form a decision of whether it's trustworthy or not, just check out the interview on tauchainfans.com. The plan is also to publish more community-oriented content on tauchainfans.com, for example, about the start of the Tau supporter program and the closed beta of Agoras Live. So definitely check out tauchainfans.com. And last but not least, the community member of this month is Jordi Capitan, for constantly liking and retweeting our Twitter posts. So thank you for your support, and yeah, see you soon. Thanks.
All right, great stuff, Killian. Thank you very much. I'll pass it over to Moaz now for his updates this month.
Yeah, so last month we're working mainly on polishing multiple sides of the Agoras Live. We're working on polishing the homepage, adding more components, and also polishing how we can display the knowledge providers there. So we had like so many iterations in the past, but now I think the vision became like more clear, and we added I added like three to four iterations. I think we settled down on one of them. Another thing is the profile. We were working on the user profile and how we can solve this issue where a single user can know or can be expert in multiple areas. So we solve that with adding areas of expertise, and also adding an area where the user can upload a video and also introduce himself properly. Also, we polish the search both in mobile and desktop. So all of the components now are friendly in both in desktop and also mobile. And also another thing that we were working on, the feed where the user can like ask for someone to help him with a specific task, or to a knowledge provider that can help him with, like, let's say cooking or whatever. So we added like the ability to the user to ask or to request multiple knowledge providers at the same time. So this is one of the new features that we added. Yeah, so mainly we're working on like 3 to 4 new areas, like user profile and the homepage and the search, and also that like finding work or the bidding system. So yeah, this is like a very like summarized view of the this month update. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Moaz. I'll pass it over to Andre now for his update this month.
Hello everyone. Last month and all Christmas holidays I spent on integrating payment system into the video communication platform. It was a very hard task, but I needed to be sure that everything payment related is properly encrypted and done on user side as much as possible. Let me demonstrate how it works. For example, let's take a familiar student and schedule a call with Albert Einstein for 60 minutes for, of course, today. And will be now, and I like to discuss everything. Now, let's go back to Albert Einstein. And as you can see, it now has a proposed meeting notification that it has a new appointment. We will accept it, and we will go back to our profile. So the meeting is now. We decrypt our encrypted storage in order to verify and sign payments. And we get to the platform. So we sit here and wait for our student. And this is Albert Einstein's wallet on cryptocurrency exchange. As you can see, it has 2 Agoras now. Let's go back to our student. Now we have our call confirmed, and we can make a call. It will cost 1000 Agoras for 1 hour, but for debug purpose I set it to 1 Agoras just to demonstrate it. So we want to pay. We decrypt our storage in order to create a payment code from the exchange. Let's, by the way, take a look at the exchange. This is our initial balance. Let's refresh it. This is our initial balance. And now we will request a payment code from it in order to pass it to Albert Einstein. Okay, so we got this code. It's encrypted with Albert Einstein's public key, and with that encrypted key we can proceed to the call. Now let's go back As you can see, code was successfully applied. This is a debug message just to understand what's happening. And user state changed to normal. In case something goes wrong with the payment, it remains unpaid state, and Albert and Stein can discuss the matter with the student or just ban him from the meeting. And now let's have a look at our balance. It was 2, and now, after applying payment, it's 3. So we got our payment for the class and we can proceed. So this was a really big work inside, because I had to dig into a very complex video platform, but I did it, and payments are successfully proceeding. So what now? Now we will make a list of what should work on our Agoras Live platform, and together with the team, we will check each one if it works properly. And after this our testing, we will release a closed beta of Agoras Live, and meanwhile I'll, with help of Moaz, improve the front-end part to be more to look more better. So then we release the closed beta for some of you to test our platform, and after properly testing that everything is secure and comfortable to use, we will finally release our platform to everyone. So see you next month. Bye.
Excellent stuff. Fantastic. What I'll do then is I'll pass it to Juan for his update this month.
Hello, everybody. So as Kareem already put into advance, yeah, my focus during last month was around the Ethereum infrastructure and the implementation of an ERC token for a new version of the Agoras token. We analyzed several options regarding ERC, which is a pretty already consolidated standard. We put a lot of attention into the security concerns related to ERC tokens. And also we set up some scripts and code in order to interact with the Ethereum blockchain in a convenient way for our requirements. And of course, always putting special attention to security concerns. I also have been analyzing feasible implementation for multi-signature wallets and the off-chain payment system that is required to run Agoras Live, isolated from the exchange, so or also in particular connected to the blockchain. In this case, shifting from what it was omni-layer towards Ethereum. So that was my main focus during this month. A lot of testing of our pretty standard ERC token and a lot of revision about current security flaws, feasible security flaws around Ethereum infrastructure. So that's all from me this time.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Juan. And from me, Happy New Year. There's a couple of things that I've worked on this month. The first thing I would like to touch on is BSEX. I know that you guys are having a little bit of issues with BSEX at the moment. I'm unsure if that's because they're transferring over to UKEX. Recently, we have actually signed the contract with UKEX, so they're going to be listing our ERC20 token when it's available. But I've asked BSEX and UKEX to come back to me with some of the answers to some of the questions that you guys had in the main channel. So I'll be able to post that, or Killian will be able to post that in the next couple of days. We are onboarding, I've actually onboarded a new team member. Killian has discussed this in the past. Luca Tiermans is going to be joining. He's a student of Professor Bensmuller, and he's going to be helping us on the development side of things, which is great. As Killian mentioned as well, I've been working with him on the fiat on-ramps to Agoras Live. We have reached out to a number of different companies that haven't responded just yet, but we hope to have that feedback pretty soon and to have that feature for you guys to be able to buy your Agoras on Agoras Live using fiat, your credit cards or debit cards. That'd be fantastic for us and for you. And unfortunately, the designer that we have had lined up to work on the rebranding took another job. They essentially clashed their timing with ours. It's kind of a step back for us, a bit of an impact. I'm looking for a new designer at the moment. It's unfortunate again. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. None of our team were expecting it either, but they unfortunately just clashed, and we have to find a new designer for this rebrand. Staying on the topic of rebranding, we are renaming, well, in the process of renaming Agoras. That's not the entire Agoras world. The token name will still be kept Agoras, but just the name Agoras Live. We found that there is a product called Agoras.io, which is in the telecommunication space. I think a couple of you guys in the Telegram channel have mentioned it before as well. Now we're able to release the Agoras Live beta with the name Agoras Live, but when we fully publicly release the project, it will be renamed to something else. It could be named Tau, but we don't know. So we're going through this whole naming process internally as well. And then on this topic of Agoras Live, I've been looking at the legal obligations that we have to consider, especially as it relates to GDPR and personal information. You know, we intend to not to hold any personal user data. So it's a case of working with our lawyers to make sure that the product is released in accordance with GDPR. We don't want to have to hold any user data, as I mentioned before. And we want to make sure that the platform goes out working alongside this GDPR guidance that we have to abide by. And as Killian mentioned, I'm onboarding another member to our academic panel, to our advisory board. A couple of hoops to jump through. I don't know if you guys know much about this sort of area, but we do have to jump through some hoops here. Working with universities, we have to make sure that there's a clear sort of guidance between their previous job, so their current job, and also working with us. So I'm just going through the necessary hoops to make sure that they come on board with their university happy as well. But that seems to be going ahead quite smoothly. And on this new exchange that we are coming on with, this is outside of UKEX. We have a new exchange coming soon. I can give you the information that we will be listing USDT and BTC as our token trading pairs, and I hope to give you some answers on that soon. I've just got to finalize a couple of agreements there, and a couple of agreements about that agreement to make sure that everyone's happy within that whole process. So that's it from me, and I'll pass it over to Ohad for his update this month.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I've been working on, with the great support of Juan, on creating the ERC20 token. And well, it's still not created. We did some tests on the testnet, and I guess it will be finished in a few days. Also, as Fola said, new exchanges are coming. We cannot, I don't think it would be wise to say the names right now, but I'm pretty sure that it will make the community very happy. I also worked on presentations of the materials that we have, the presentations to explain the Taunet Agoras. After all, those are really very exciting ideas, just need the right words to explain them. And I've been working on this with Killian and Kareem and Fola quite significantly this month. On the research side of things, I studied a lot about finite fields, or in general fields of characteristic too, which can be seen as an aspect of Boolean algebras that apparently is unstudied and apparently should be very fruitful for all kinds of logic, including second-order logic, and also a lot of discussion with Professor Fanconi about, well, about everything, but in particular about the self-interpretation aspects of TML and the languages for law in general. And that's all for now.
All right, fantastic stuff. Thank you, everyone. And thank you guys for joining and tuning into our update this month. If you stay on, you can listen to the Q&A and us answering those questions. Thank you. All right, and this question is from Shane, and they ask, is the team full-time employees or part-time contractors? So all of us are full-time. Now we do have some part-time team members joining. That will be Luca and the university advisors that have joined the team on our advisory board. They also work part-time. So for us, we work 100%, even more than 100% of our time. So we do more than full-time. And yeah, so for us, it's our hearts in this project fully. So yeah, we're all in all the time. And this question is from Reddy. For 5 years now, little to no effort has been put in to have Agoras or Tau chain known and or participate in the cryptocurrency scene. I see many community members being quite fed up by this. A negative sentiment can obstruct the building of participation that's needed for feeding the eventual TML base. How are you planning to fix this?
Indeed, in most of those years, there was no effort. I was virtually alone. I couldn't handle everything. But now things are completely different. We have the whole team, and we have Fola and Killian who are working, doing really a great job in preparing to for massive outreach, and I'm sure you will feel it quite soon.
Excellent stuff. And this question is from Shane, and he asks, is Ohad working on this full-time?
Yes, definitely. This project is the most important thing for me, because the promise that I gave the community, but even beyond this, I see Tau as really the most important thing in the world, and I see people who really get to understand Tau to agree with me on this one. So I definitely don't work anywhere else, and this is the most important thing for me.
All right, thanks, Ohad. And another question from Shane, and they ask, a small amount of Agoras is held for Ohad and the team. How long can this project live with the money available?
Yeah, the small amount you refer to is the amount that we said that we will keep after the products are ready, the full products are ready. But we do have a large amount of Agoras until then, which we intend to sell at a good point of time where we get enough traction and so on.
Okay, and we have another question from Shane, and they ask, is the team running to a budget, including allocation of money for marketing, etc.?
Yes, definitely. We definitely have budget for marketing and also for paying the team and finishing all our promises, definitely.
All right, another question from Shane, and they ask, CoinGecko, and I'm sure others, have pages that link to news of cryptocurrencies. Can we begin to upload our news and videos to these sites?
Yes, sure. I wasn't aware about CoinGecko and its feature to upload news. I'm also not sure if it's free or paid option. For paid options, I think it would make most sense once we have the pitch presentation ready and we have turned it into an animated video, that we can distribute that one across paid options. And for free options, definitely we could already start sharing our monthly updates. Would be a good idea actually to create a list of all the options where we could for free share our content.
Thanks, Killian. That's a great idea. All right, and this question is from Reddy, and they ask, throughout our time of development, have we seen much outside interests of other blockchain projects for our project?
We haven't really seen interest from other blockchain projects for our project, but also I think that has a lot to do with us not having released any product yet. So once KML is released and becomes more clear to other projects to see the potential of our technology, that should also spark more interest of other projects for Tau.
Thank you very much, Killian. And this question is from Redneve. Great to see you back. What events do you think is necessary to increase the price of the token? Adding team members surely doesn't affect the price. Can we expect a rise in the price without waiting for Agoras Live to be released?
Well, of course, we cannot specifically say anything about rise of price, but we do actively working very much on releasing materials to explain the project. And once one understands what the project is about, and there are very few questions about its value. We also prepare materials for outreaching larger and larger audiences, whether in the crypto sphere or outside of it, using by the release of, for example, TML. As well as we spoke before, listing on big and reputable exchanges, which we also actively work on.
All right, another question from Redney. What is your realistic expectations about the date Agoras Live is publicly released?
On the release of Agoras Live, we currently plan to release a closed beta in February, and so far we're on this plan. And after collecting various bugs and improvements and the time needed to implement them, we will release it just when we will be sure that the quality of the service is high enough. So by plan, it take, I think, months to 3 months to implement everything after the public testing. So the middle is, I think, May. But with software development, of course, anything can happen.
And this question again is from Redneve, and they ask, now that Agoras Live has been postponed, should we lower our expectations about getting listed on a US exchange in Q1 2021? So we don't have any plans to get listed. We didn't have any plans to get listed on the US exchange in 2021 Q1, though it is still one of our goals and one of our main efforts. We do still have a couple of hoops to jump through, which relates to the release of the token and the project development itself. Sorry, not the release of the token, sorry, release of the platform. But we do have an exchange coming that we're very confident that you guys will be happy with. I mean, it isn't a UX exchange, but you know, we continue to work on better and better exchanges for you guys to trade on. And this next question is from Red Neve, and they ask, how do you envision the coming months regarding the visibility of the project to the crypto sphere? Do you have any plans to make the people get interested and talking about us?
So yes, specifically the Tau supporter program is aimed to exactly serve that desire to drive attention across the crypto sphere beyond our already existing community to Tau. So basically we are going to reward community members for creating content or for completing challenges that often is related to creating respective content about Tau across social media channels, and in general, it's about generating traction. So if you as a community member complete a certain challenge that generates traction in terms of generating buzz around our project, or for example, if you manage to get a large influencer to report on Tau chain to present our project, and that video gets seen a lot and shared a lot, then you will be rewarded for that. So with that supporter program, we hope to definitely create some buzz around our project across the crypto sphere, across the crypto and blockchain community.
Yeah, that's right. I'd also say that along with the rebranding, that unfortunately is a little bit delayed now with the new designer required, we will start marketing, into the blockchain space as well, via a number of different methods as well, via sort of publications, typical publications that you would find information about blockchain companies. So yeah, we'll begin marketing this year. We still want to do the rebrand and the website redevelopment and all that kind of good stuff. So that's coming too, and that will help. That will help us generate the materials. That will help us get new community members engaged. That will help us engage you guys better, and bring on the influencers Killian mentioned to the team. All right. And this next question is from Ohad. Is it possible to refund my BTC if I participated in the ICO? Unfortunately, there's no refunds from the participation in the ICO. But as you can see that we've made quite a lot of development, progress on the development. And we hold ourselves to these obligations. So we're committed to developing this project as we always have, and we're going to continue to do that. All right, and this last question is from Bogart, and they ask, to avoid SEC scrutiny, does the team have any plans to do an ICO refund, such as what Neo did? Also, when can we expect a full launch of Tau?
So about the release date for the full Tau platform. As you all know, Tau is our full platform, and it depends on many core technologies and components of IDNI, and not just TML, which itself is still in development, but other components such as the Internet of Languages, the scaling of discussion features, and the mapping of opinions. All of those are important features that need to be implemented before we can release Tau. And since some of those efforts are very much still in progress, I can't give you an exact date for the release of the entire Tau platform, but I can promise we'll address that during the next call. Thank you very much.
Excellent. And just to touch on the question regarding the ICO refund, I answered this in the previous question, but unfortunately we aren't doing any refunds for the ICO. We continue to develop this project, and you can see that we've made significant progress on the development side of things. And yeah, we're going to continue to build the what we think is the best project available. That's it for this Q&A. We thank you. Happy New Year. We'll see you in Telegram if you have any further questions. And we look forward to you playing with the Agoras Live beta release when it comes available. Thank you.